A lot of the folks and artists tabling at the convention were hanging out at the Marriott, especially the final night. A lot of people were networking, having drinks or mocktails, various award ceremonies. So this is something I took advantage of. And a big shout out to the creators of Technic Guys for giving me the heads up on this shindig.
So this is the final day of the show. Last night there was a lot of individuals, artists, writers, various elements, roles in the comic book industry, comic book fans, guests. They were at the Marriott and people were having drinks, mocktails. So I got to meet a lot of the artists and a lot of people that just really love comic books last night, which was a blast. It was also great for networking and exposure. So I am headed down to the final day of Comic-Con, and it has been a success. Absolute 100% success. The show is very well run, and I am very proud to be a part of it. And I have also learned a lot of really good lessons for my next cons. So I look forward to this last day. I'm going to head down, set up one last time. All right.
It's always good to arrive about an hour before all the fans arrive, especially to a mid-sized convention like this one. It gets pretty packed and you want to make sure that your booth is set up, everything is presented nicely for the guests, for the fans, to check out your material. As you can see, these are some big vendors. Some are companies, some do have brick and mortar, larger artists, and I'm just slowly walking down to the artist alley where some smaller artists like myself, storytellers. One of the big reasons I went to Baltimore Comic Con, as I've said before in these videos, is exposure. It's great for visibility and recognition that a storyteller needs to get their work out there. Now, Baltimore Comic Con was pretty big. It was pretty easy to get lost in all the awesomeness. I headed down to Artist Alley. There's a lot of talented artists, a lot of talent, great material, a lot of things to be checked out. There were a lot of people here this weekend, and for the first time, Mud got a lot of face-to-face eyes. I'm not going to say we won a lot of fans, but we definitely picked up a couple. I'm starting to see the social media expand a bit, the email marketing grow, and the overall fan base grow. I don't know if I'm going to go to a lot of Comic Cons in 2024. I want to finish 1 through 5. What I learned is at looking at other people's booths is it was nice to have that complete series, and people were even more interested, and it just gives you a lot of original material at your booth for people to check out.
So I'm off to the family farm before I head back down to Charleston, see my cousins. Let's go.
Childhood experiences and influences play a significant role in shaping writers and their work. Here are some ways in which childhood can impact writers. So I'd say imagination and creativity. Just growing up on the family farm itself had a huge impact on me. I definitely draw inspiration from my childhood experiences and memories, using them as a foundation for my storytelling. The freedom and innocence of childhood often fuel a writer's creativity and help them develop unique perspectives. I would definitely say growing up on the family farm helped me develop my own perspective.
Creative writing is a great opportunity to express my imagination, creativity, and emotions. Now, to enhance my creative writing, one trick is using my past to enrich the story. A big part of my past was the 330-acre farm called Willowdale. Willdale Farm is located in Baltimore County. It was and is a big family horse farm. Currently has a big brewery on it as well, built and run by my cousins Justin and Aaron. It still holds a place for me in my memories, to mine experiences, emotions, to create authentic and relatable characters, dialogue, and situations for my writing, to potentially add depth and emotional resonance in my work, such as Mud Freestone. In other words, the farm is close to the heart, which allows me to theoretically infuse my story with authenticity and empathy. Emotional depth can resonate with readers and make writing more impactful. Especially with a comic book, it is important to write for the emotional peaks and valleys, since the creative real estate on each page is so limited, like all other art forms. This will also allow the other artists, like an illustrator, to draw the lines that make the emotions pop in the sequential art, and theoretically hook the reader a bit more.
A big location for the 5-part limited series will be Willowdale Farm. This is the farm I grew up on. This is the farm I spent a lot of my childhood at. Tons of memories, and I just wanted to incorporate this location into the Mud Freestone world.
In general, drawing from my past can enrich the story with emotional depth, vivid imagery, and compelling narratives. Using the farm in Mud Freestone as a main location allows me to connect with the work on a deeper level, infusing the fiction with authenticity, thus creating a story that resonates with the readers on a personal level.
A character we've met in issue number 1 is Beaks. Beaks can basically build anything out of old technology, Nintendo game consoles, tractor parts, farm equipment, TVs, you name it.
Up on the right is the main structure for Pharmacy Brewing, which was built by my cousin-in-laws, uncle, family members. Again, this is a big family farm. There was a lot of family involved. 2 figureheads in this would be, Justin, his brother-in-law, Aaron. I don't know all the details, nor do I really need to or care to. I just think it's a pretty awesome thing that they were able to build. And this is the inside structure.
Looks great, Justin. Fucking A, man. I'm putting this on my new YouTube. Can I walk back there?
Most of this equipment, Beaks, one of the main characters, will utilize and repurpose in Mud Freestone. Visually being able to see these things as I write definitely makes the writing theoretically more clear. My memories from the farm have the potential to inspire vivid and evocative descriptions. It is possible for myself to transport the reader to different times and locations by drawing on sensory impressions and recollections. Coming up on the right will be gardens, greenhouses, some other structures that are used in the story at this location. In a world set in the future, the near future, to survive off the grid, it is important to live in a facility or a vicinity that is self-sustaining. This property that lives in Mud's world is self-sustaining, is protected from Holder, a narcissistic cyborg killing machine, which arises certain questions, certain truths that need to be addressed within the story to make it believable. But having the real locations and infusing these locations, these sites into the story makes it a lot easier to stretch the truth, to tie it all together. For instance, the power lines to the left, they will be utilized in the story. I don't want to give away too many secrets or too many parts of the story. Obviously, I would love any listener to check out mudfreestone.com and see how I instill these structures, these locations, maybe you can guess certain memories and things like that, and certain characters that might be built loosely from individuals that I met on the farm. This video is also showing a smaller portion of the farm, and it's obviously not showing all the various structures. Issues 2 through 5 will explore a lot of those buildings and sites, some of which have been sold off, some of which the family doesn't own anymore. Those sites are still part of the past, and I am easily able to mine those within my memories and combine them with whatever imagination I might have going on at the moment. Another important note, throughout the revisions, it's been really fantastic being able to have an anchor within the imagination, and those anchors have been using places like the farm, which is just really, really vivid in my mind.
Right now we're approaching Beek's barn. It's a whole lofted area in the barn where Beeks in the Mud Freestone story has his whole control center. There's actually pictures of my dad and my uncle standing out in front.
Every time I drive this route, I stop at my father's grave. It's also a family burial ground. Not something I want to record, but will definitely share. There is sadness in my voice, but my dad was an amazing man, and sometimes it still hurts to remember the loss, but I am very grateful to have had such a special dad, such a good father. And I'm grateful for all the relationships on the farm with my cousins, sister, brother, mom, Nana, Mimi, Da, grandparents, everybody I grew up with, uncles and aunts, individuals that worked on the farm that were like family, Charlie and Marianne, the list goes on and on. The imaginary games I was able to play with my cousins. This is where being a storyteller started for me.
Whew. Visiting the family farm always hits me kind of hard. For years I always said I would buy back, call it the front half, but the one side that's on Falls Road. And Justin and Aaron and Uncle Mike and everyone else, Aunt Kathy, everybody, they do such an amazing job of taking care of the farm, and it means so much to me and my brother, and my sister, and my mom, and everyone else, all the other family members. It just hits me every time I go there. I love seeing my cousin Justin. He's one of my best buds. Obviously, I love seeing Aaron and Uncle Mike too. So this is a great trip. Got to meet people like Billy Tucci, Gus Vasquez, Mike and Robert that have Technic Gods, the amazing comic book series. So many more people. I'm going to keep going with Comic Cons. I'm going to aim a little bit smaller, a little bit more local, and keep building. I do need to start working on issue number 2. 2 through 5 is written, which is great, but I have some revisions to do. I always believe in revising to make the story stronger, tighter. So I'm going to continue with that, and maybe, just maybe, I'll build Mud Freestone the Mad Dog to a point where I buy back that part of the family farm. Who knows, right? You can always dream, you can always have goals, you can always have things to work towards. That farm is very close to the heart, and I'm glad I got to share it with you. Love you all. I'm headed back to Charleston, South Carolina now. Have a great day.
Finally, I grew up on the farm. I moved off my sophomore year in high school. Some of my best memories, some of my toughest memories all happened at Willowdale Farm. It will always hold a very special place in my heart. And as long as I'm writing, I do feel as if I will always be connecting some of the work with the farm. Whether that be the people I knew there, the people I know there now, the locations, certain memories, all brings the story to life for me, which I want to bring to life for you.